Well, I tell you what, that probably ought to be addressed elsewhere. And so would somebody like to set up a meeting with Mr. Morgan so we can arrange that for another occasion?
Yeah, I believe Community Development Bill's office is taking a look at that situation. We're not prepared to respond, or somebody will be talking to you, I'm sure, sir.
Well, it was after 6 o'clock when I got home tonight. I knew that all the offices were closed, but there was a council meeting, and I have sat patiently through until somebody let me get up here and say something. And my wife told me, don't make a fool of yourself, because it's on Channel 13.
With reruns.
Yes.
There you go.
You're on
All right.
forever now.
And the city website archives.
Okay.
So somebody will be following up with you from our.
I
community development.
appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Okay, council members, what do you think? Dan?
I'm kind of in agreement with Walter that I'd like to see, obviously this one here is, almost as is, good to go. This is the easy one. The other ones though, like the steepness of the one up there I guess we'll just say it's the Vandal Drive right of way and the one off of Victoria. Those two there kind of concern me a little bit. I'm not so worried about the liability as I am just making them usable and make sure that they stay usable. If we're going to sign them, make sure that they stay useful. And again, also with the one, that steep pitch coming off of Mountain View on the Tuna right away there. So yeah, I would like to see us table this until we have some cost estimates, and, whether than, if there's some more discussion, I'd move that.
Okay, well, that's not debatable, but I would mention we do have cost estimates.
I mean,
Okay.
it's gonna be more than
Okay, so
$1,000.
Dan's motion to table and Walter's second. Okay, so we'll vote on that. Yes, Gary?
Did you intend to table it to a date certain, or table it indefinitely?
I'd like to see something with this by the next council meeting, if you think you can. If not, give you a month.
Yeah, my concern would be if Tom's out of town and will be presumably the rest of this week, it'll take some time to coordinate that.
So-
If you said within 6 weeks or 3 council meetings, we will certainly try to get it back in that period of time.
And maybe this would go back through the task force. Your next meeting is before a month from now, so that way you guys would see it too before it came back to us. That would give it.
There's a construction season too, as a possibility, so do you want to consider that? And how long maybe, if we could do it?
If we could get it slicked up
Could
before.
council do it in 2 weeks or 4 weeks? What do you need?
I would say 4 weeks would be,
Yeah, let's say,
This has been around the block a bunch of times already through a bunch of commissions and our Paradise Path Task Force, and the paths are being used whether they're improved
Right.
or not. And so, motion to table till
September 16th.
September 16th, seconder, all right. We'll start the roll call vote with Dan.
Discussion?
No. Dan?
Aye.
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 No.
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 You need a super majority, don't you, to get that to pass?
Mayor, if I may?
Wait, I'm looking for
I
legal
believe it
advice
is
because we have a
2/3
tie.
to pass a motion to table.
Yeah, I believe it is too. So that one would fail. I will just double check that. We want to be, I have a Robert's Rules in here if we want to.
I have no idea.
Rod's checking it out.
Mayor?
Yes.
Question is why you didn't allow any discussion?
Whether you table or not?
She said a motion to table is not discussable,
Motion's a motion.
Debatable.
debatable. Good word. I don't know.
2/3.
Yeah, okay. So that motion fails and this, the discussion can continue. So Wayne, I'll invite your comments.
Two concerns I had was, one was liability, and our city attorney, Rod Hall, has answered that for me, so I'm satisfied with that. I would have no problem with having signs posted. I think that would be just fine. I noticed that in our packet, when it gives overall recommendations, it was the same thing that we had under public works or admin, and the second one was make minor trail improvements to improve safety, such as gravel bark, et cetera, period. Up there, it said, it had an addition to it, it said, as, I think, recommended by the city engineer or something to that.
If approved by, I think it was.
By the city engineer. I feel a lot better with that, because if it was gonna be tabled, I wouldn't wanna, it would be maybe, I would have thought dollar specific, because if we have the city engineer look at these, then he's gonna have an idea, well, what's it gonna cost, what do we actually have to do? It might be better, if we don't wanna spend a lot of money on these, and we go ahead and sign them as public pathways, and because a couple of these are really steep, putting gravel on according to the city engineer, maybe he's going to decide it would make it more treacherous, therefore we'd have to put more money into it. They're being used pretty well as they are right now. And so maybe that, I would like to have heard what the city engineer had to say as far as the usability of these, unless we have to spend a lot of money. Then what Walter's talking about, putting stairs in, then that precludes the ability to use bicycles on it. You know, ride your bicycle down a bunch of steps.
You're not gonna ride your bike up the steepness of that thing.
So,
I keep waving my hand over here.
okay, I just want to know
Better
if
man
any of
than
the
I.
council members or task force members or Parks and Rec people have talked to Kevin. I mean, it's unfortunate we don't have one of our engineering folks here at the moment, but Tom, do you have some
I'm just trying to
knowledge
get
of
some attention over here. But
that? Yes, sir, yes.
I also know all these pathways, and I ride my bike on some of them. Tuna up and down, easy. I mean, for me anyway. But there are a lot of these are the easy ones in Moscow. There are probably another dozen or 2 dozen public right-of-ways that we really need to start dealing with, and I would love to see at least these get minor improvements as mentioned within the staff recommendation. Just easy signage to get this thing off the dime. We can always come back and do better, more engineering, what have you, over time. But I would like to see us just, accept this, approve, support the request from the task force to get some minor improvements, including signage on these things right now, and I would love to make a motion to that effect.
Go ahead.
I would like to make a motion that we approve the request by
making
the,
one.
yeah, I am now making a motion.
I'll second it.
To get the signage in, and then we can move forward on the rest of it as the engineer sees fit.
Wait, so how, so
Does your motion include the minimal improvements that were called out in this?
Yes.
minimal improvements as.
Minimal improvements, just to help move it forward. I mean, my recommendation for number 1 would be to widen that, the little concrete thing, so that somebody in a bike trailer can get through there. Right now, a 3-foot wide opening is not wide enough for, people that I know that live on one side and work on the other and can't get their kids through there. So they're biking their kids down streets instead of, so
Okay.
I'd
So
like
just
to
for-
see us move it.
For
Get some minimal
clarification,
improvements.
is your motion essentially what this action is here?
Yes.
Okay, Dan, is that your understanding? Okay.
Yep.
We have Tom's motion, we have Dan's second, and now we'll have some discussion. Wayne?
Question though.
Yes, please.
Is it as recommended up there where it says if recommended by the city engineering, or is it by our packet? Which one is your motion pertain to?
What I'm trying to do is just get the simple minor improvement by the packet and allow the city engineer, through direction among the staff, to look at things and see if there's something that can be done
I
later.
understand that, Tom, but my concern is, and I'll come right out and tell you, my wife has walked 2 of these very steep trails. And she's flat told me if they put gravel on those where it's so steep, it's going to be treacherous. I don't want to see gravel put on there unless the city engineer says, you know what, I think that's going to be okay.
Sure.
So amend it.
If it were up to me, I would never put gravel on the Futuna route, because that is too steep for gravel. It'll just turn into a marble field,
Or bark.
or bark or whatever. Or
to
it
wash
works
off.
right now the way it is.
Sue?
Would you accept a friendly amendment to approve support for the request of the Paradise Path Task Force to make minor improvements as approved by the city engineer for said Orphan Path section?
Sure.
Seconder?
Yep.
Would that work
Okay.
okay?
Okay, Wayne, set your mind at ease?
Yeah.
Okay, other discussion? Sue?
I think I would like to echo Tom's point that there were like 13 or 14 of these. And Kevin Lilly and Les McDonald were in on several of the discussions. And so if these got passed Parks and Rec and these got passed Transportation, then I think these are okay. Walter kept using the term usable, and I'm going, they're being used, and there could be,
More users.
they could be, improvement could be some sort of ground cover that you could bike on. You know, a ground cover will stop erosion, and you can walk on it, and you can bike on it. Woolly time or something like that, but, so, a nice, anyway, so, I'm in favor. I think it's time to get off the dime. It's been going on
You
for
look
2
like
years.
you were going to say something?
I'm ready to vote.
Okay. Walter?
I was not trying to kill this by making it more complicated. I'm in favor of it. I just don't feel usable, Sue, is going up a dirt path by a hole you could drop half a Volkswagen in, and getting up to a place where you're within 10 feet of pavement,
No,
and
I'm
you have to
filling
walk
holes.
around all these bushes and trees and crawl up under them almost to get to the thing. My thought was, cut a little path through it.
I don't have a problem with that. It's
I mean-
stairs I don't think might not be necessary.
Have
but
you
we're
walked
gonna
up
leave it
it?
to the city engineer.
Have you walked up it?
Yes, several times. I
Okay,
was on
so
the
you're,
tour.
and you're all for it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I just felt it was too much to
I
call it
wasn't wearing-
public path.
I wasn't wearing spike heels, but I mean,
Is there any other discussion before voting? Okay, hearing none, we'll start the roll call vote with you, Tim.
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Aye.
Aye.
The motion carries unanimously. Congratulations, Margaret and Dwight, and all of your colleagues who have worked so long and so hard for these 4 orphan paths, and we hope many more to come as part of our network of Paradise Path improvements. Thank you, well done.